Hey everyone, it's Lisa from the blog farmhouseonboone.com, and today I want to share with you kind of a response to a message I get pretty often, and that's a little bit about how we're able to get anything done with kids around and run our business here from our home. On a regular basis, I get an email that looks something like this. Now, this particular message, I'm not gonna share who it's from or anything like that, completely anonymous, because I didn't even ask her if I could share it, but I get something along the lines of this kind of message regularly, basically talking about things that I've mentioned in my videos and my lifestyle and wondering how on earth those things can all work together and stay sane. So I won't read all of this, but basically I'm writing a request for information. Can you please show a little bit more of your house cleaning routine, kids upkeep? You mentioned that you don't need a dishwasher. The person's basically saying that they have 3 children, they feel overwhelmed with sippy cups and bottles, and how do we keep up with washing dishes and cleaning up? Do your kids snack? Do you make 3 meals a day? How do you care for 5 kids and nurse your youngest 3 or 4 times a night, and now you're pregnant again and you just moved? How are you doing all of this? Basically, do you possess some superhuman powers? I get people that say you're a supermom, and that makes me uncomfortable, and I'll explain it in a little bit. So basically, how do you do what you do? Like day in the life, morning or night, something like that. Okay, so I try to share some day in the life videos that kind of show the behind the scenes of how our home works. But the fact that I still get a lot of messages and emails like this makes me feel like I should clarify just kind of how things go around here, because I sometimes think that people think that everything is more together than it actually is. That's why whenever I do share my day in the lives, I don't clean up and I don't basically do anything but show our real life. And so you guys do see that my house is not clean. I mean, it's not filthy, but as far as keeping a perfectly tidy, clean house, that is not what I'm doing. So I guess that is thing number 1, is that this house is not perfectly clean. I share perfect photos on my Instagram feed because that is part of my brand, to inspire and show our home in a way that is decorated with my simple farmhouse style. It's kind of like a portfolio. Brands that sponsor me look at it. I get new followers whenever it looks that way. But I don't want to only share that part of my life and then people think things like this, because that would not be true. So yes, I do have to have that Instagram, a very visual platform, look that way, or I wouldn't get any new followers and I wouldn't grow my brand. But that is what the day in the life videos are for, because I don't want people to feel inadequate or like I'm somehow a superhuman person who's able to keep my life together better than them, especially when that's totally not true. Okay, so that's number 1. I am not a neat freak. I do not worry about messes. I used to, back when I had maybe 1 or 2 kids and no home-based business. I was able to worry about that, and so I did. I did not leave the house without anything out of place. I made my bed in the morning. I put the pillows on the couch. And I actually really prided myself on my house looking great. Then after having babies 3, 4, 5, starting a home-based business, homeschooling, all of that stuff went out the window, and quite honestly, life got a lot easier because I don't worry about it. I have not put pillows properly on the couch. My kids are running around upstairs and being really loud. Sorry about that. I'm gonna power through this video because that, again, is real life and I don't get silent rooms to record videos in. There have been antique light fixtures sitting on the table in the dining room for over a month now that I've been collecting, meaning to put up. The kids' beds haven't been made in who knows how long. I've only made my bed on the rare occasion that I'm recording a video in there. So when you've seen my room perfect, that's the only time it was perfect ever. In the last month, we leave the dish strainer sitting out on the counter, the mud room, the boots and coats are everywhere because we're just gonna wear the boots and coats again. I don't see the purpose in straightening them up. Now, back when I could do that, I stressed over those things and I did. But now that is just not a priority, and honestly, I'm able to completely let it go. It does not bother me that the living room's a mess, that the light fixtures are on the table. When I have time and I'm done writing my book, which is basically consuming all of my extra time right now, I will clean that room up and it'll look pretty and I'll take a picture and then it'll probably get destroyed again. And that is fine because we live in this house. So as far as the dishes, because I get a lot of question about this, people want to know, why don't you have a dishwasher? Is it some kind of like earth-saving moral? It's nothing like that. The reason we don't use a dishwasher is every time we've had a dishwasher, we've used it for maybe a few months and then something happens with it that we don't know how to fix, and then it fills up with water, it gets musty, or just something happens to where it's just easier than dealing with that regular maintenance to just wash the dishes. Also, we don't have a ton of dishes, so we eat here 3 times a day. My husband works here with me, for my blog, and so we are all 7 here all the time. We homeschool, so we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So usually we are using that same stainless steel flipper. We're using the same silicone scraper. We're using the same plates, the same forks, and they just are in constant rotation, the same cast iron skillets. So I find that when I use the dishwasher, it takes all day to fill it up, but then I'm needing things. So I'm needing my scraper thing back and it's in the dishwasher, and it's gross at this point because it's been sitting in there since breakfast. So to me, it's just easier to finish eating, take the plates, forks, and all the, spatula over to the sink, rinse it off. I mean, we're gonna be using it again, so I don't care if it's thoroughly sanitized at the proper temperature with the right soap. Seriously, we're gonna use it again ASAP. The stuff hasn't been sitting on it, so it's not caked on, and nothing is sitting there so long to be gross. So we just rinse it, and then we use it again at lunch, we rinse it, we use it at dinner, and we just kind of rotate out of that little dish strainer the same 6 plates, forks, cups, and then my cast iron skillets, which I've shared quite a bit about here on my channel, how we use cast iron and how you can get it to where it's pretty much completely non-stick. We don't wash those very much, so we just use them all day long. And so it's really so much easier for us to do it that way than to throw things in the dishwasher and everybody's like, hey, where's the top of the immersion blender? Or where's the spatula? I really need it. It's gross, sitting in the dishwasher. Pull it out. Now you need to wash it really well because it's been sitting there all day. So just for us, my sister feels the same way. She has 4 kids. It's just easier. Also with the dishwasher, I always found that whenever I was unloading it, I've always had a toddler. For the last 10 years, I've had a toddler. The toddler is climbing in, getting into the knives, the forks, throwing stuff all over the kitchen. I have used a dishwasher, a few junctions here in the last 11 years since I've been married, and it's just never been a time saver for me. So that's why I don't use a dishwasher. If it totally works for you, go for it. Nothing against it, but we don't save any time using it. So there's my little dishwasher spiel because I get questions about that all the time. So key number 1 on how I get things done around here is I don't keep the house perfectly clean and it doesn't bother me. Number 2 is I have help. I think people forget that all the time. I have so much help. So my husband is homeschooling the kids right now. He is home full time. We are a full-time family business here with the blog and the YouTube channel. It provides all of our income. And so every single day, when I wake up in the morning till when I go to bed at night, I have my husband's help. And he is good help. I don't know, some guys, maybe people complain that their husbands don't know how to do dishes or laundry or clean or take care of the kids, or maybe he can only handle 1 or 2. My husband can handle all 5 kids. He can keep on top of the laundry. Now, not in a perfect way. So my kids, they fold the laundry. That is their job. They get the laundry out of the dryer and they put it away. Do I sometimes find my leggings in my daughter's drawer? Do I find that the clothes aren't in the right drawers and they're not folded right, they're crumpled up? Yes, I do find that quite often, but I just don't care. I just don't. Now, for the most part, my clothes are in my dresser, their clothes are in theirs. We can find things. If they're not folded right, I could not care less. That is just my personality. You just cannot have things perfect and get anything done other than that with your life. So a lot of help. My husband is here. I found that after he quit his job, I got more help from him around the clock. So it wasn't just that the hours that he was home that he used to be gone changed. So, you know, he used to be gone for 8 hours a day. I found that all the hours changed because he finally understood exactly what went on here. He was here to see when the bills needed to be paid and that we needed more gas for the furnace, or that we needed to, you know, request trash service at our new house, or just all those little things that a lot of times moms take on exclusively on their own. So just at all times, we're a team. Nothing ever in this household falls 100% on me. The kids help with dishes and laundry. He does it. When we need more groceries, it's all of our problem. It's not just my problem. And so I feel very much like I just have so much help. Like right now, even though I'm pregnant and have 5 kids and we're homeschooling and I do wake up with Micah overnight and I'm writing a book, I feel so much less stressed than when I was juggling all of the stay-at-home mom, homeschooling duties, plus working on my business late hours in the night on my own. So it took a lot of crazy hours during that time. And now I just have help. I also have help with my business. So I hire my younger sister. She is a virtual assistant for me, which basically just means that she goes on and helps with scheduling posts to Facebook and Pinterest and helping me with some comments. And she's even made for me an ebook that she designed with a little bit of graphic design. And so all of those little tasks that go into a blog that people probably don't even know about, I have help with those. I also have someone who's been working with me for about 3 years now. She helps to edit my videos. So right now when I'm getting my book out, I can't get any more projects done than just my book. So every day I'm creating something new for my book, and then that's why you're getting these kind of videos that aren't as involved. But I will take this footage, give it to her, and then she'll cut out the parts where I stutter or say something wrong and overlay footage. And that process that usually takes hours for YouTubers, she'll do that and help me with the blog post and just get that content out, pinned to Pinterest, creating the graphics, so much that goes into it, and she'll help me with that. We also have a babysitter that comes once a week in the evenings. Now that's just for me and Luke to go on a date night, but that helps to preserve my sanity. So the point here is just that there is tons of help. On Sundays, we usually go out to both of our parents' house and have meals with them. They cook for us. So that's just such an integral part to this. People think that I am doing everything and staying up till midnight while I'm pregnant, and people tell me that I need to rest. And I honestly, I do. I rest. I just have so much help. And so if you don't, do not compare your life and what you get done to mine, because I have so many more hands in this than probably you do. So that also goes with having older kids. I really think that now it is easier with the kids that I have than when I just had 3. So when I had 3, I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a baby. A lot of you are probably in the same situation. If you're having kids every 2 years and you're having about 3 kids, you're probably thinking, how does she have 5, pregnant with 6, when I have 3 and this is so hard? That phase of life really, truly was harder. And it was harder for several reasons. One, no help. You cannot say to a 4-year-old, here, hold this baby, I need to make dinner. I can. I have a daughter, 2 daughters who are old enough to seriously say, hey, go push Micah on the swing, I need to make dinner. And like I said about the laundry and the dishes, I will say, hey girls, I'm gonna go put Micah to bed, you clean up the kitchen. They'll do the dishes, sweep the floor. You know, they don't do it perfectly, but it looks a lot better when I come down from putting him to bed than it looked before I went up. So I did not have help at all back when my husband was working his job and I had a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a baby. That is a very, very difficult season, and it is so much easier now. It just is. Another reason why it's easier, other than getting help from the kids, is that you seriously somehow just get so much more laid back. So when you have 1, 2, or 3 kids, you still have the wherewithal to worry and obsess about certain things. Your life hasn't gotten so beyond yourself with children that you still hold on to a lot of these perfectionism things, and there's a lot of things that you might be doing that stress out your life that you don't actually have to do, but it kind of comes with having more kids that you realize it. I shared a little bit about this a little bit more in a video I did, I think last summer sometime, when it was a video called How I Get Stuff Done with Kids. But basically just the mindset that you get with 4+ is so different. It's so hard to describe. And I know it's not just me, because I've talked to a ton of other moms. I've even read some articles that people have shared on Facebook, and I totally agree with all of that. All right, some messy hair boy woke up from nap, and Luke's finishing up homeschool, so I'm gonna just see how this goes with him on here. Here is Exhibit A. He is wearing a sleeper, and unless we leave this house, he's gonna be toddling around in a sleeper all day. When you're the 5th kid, you just don't worry about that kind of stuff anymore. There's no distinction between pajamas and real clothes. The baby's comfortable and everything's all good. And that's about as far as it goes. I have not thought about Easter clothes. I don't know when you're gonna see this video, probably not till after Easter, but Easter is this Sunday, and I don't have Easter dresses planned. Back when I had 2 kids, I sewed them their dresses. They matched. My little son had a matching tie. Those were the things that you thought about, and now I can't, and so I don't even think about it. I just don't worry about it. There's just so many little things that when you have 1 or 2, you might actually consider, that when you have more, you don't think of. Also, there's just things that just become easy. So people are always asking me, what do you do about baby-led weaning, and what do you feed them? With the first one, I totally thought about all that. I was like, okay, we gotta do carrots and then green beans and whatever the doctor had told me. By 3rd, 4th, 5th, literally just put them in the high chair at age 7 months, and whatever we're eating, kind of just give them a little bit of it. If they could pick it up and put it in, good. If not, they're fine nursing. And that's just kind of what happens. You just don't worry about doing everything perfect. You're very comfortable. You just know how it all works out. You don't worry about, like, with my first, I worried so much about her schedule. I thought if she sleeps in my bed at night, she'll never transition to a real bed. We're never gonna have her sleeping through the night. By the 5th, it's like, you just nurse them all night until you're done with it, and they'll eventually sleep. They always do. The whole process just gets kind of easy. Of course, there's challenges. There's still, you have to take care of a child's needs at all times every day, but everything about it is just so much more comfortable and easy, and that helps. So another thing that was in that message from that girl was about moving. So yes, I am pregnant, we just moved, and you know, we're fixing up a farmhouse. As you can probably tell from my videos, we aren't in a huge hurry. I have not shared any big reveals with you. We did painting, but we hired that done. We're gonna work on the kitchen. It's not done yet. There is definitely still things in boxes that we haven't organized. The kitchen is not organized, and I am not going to let it stress me out. It's not something I'm focused on. So another thing that that leads me to thinking of is I only focus on one thing at a time, and that also helps things in life just to stay simple. So right now, other than having a contractor out to look at the kitchen, I am not thinking about the kitchen, I'm not thinking about the dining room, I'm not thinking about redoing this living room or anything until my book is done. So my book is due May 1st, and I'm pretty laser focused on getting that done, the manuscript, and then I will move on to, I believe the living room's next, because I have a sponsorship with the living room, and then the kitchen, but I won't be thinking about the kitchen really, or looking at Pinterest for kitchen ideas until the living room's done. And so it just helps my mind to stay not stressed. Because I feel like so much of this is more about the clutter in your mind and just the stress of everything than the actual thing itself. Like daily life, getting a simple meal on the table. We don't do recipes, we just throw a chicken and potatoes or whatever in the oven, cleaning up after that, and making sure everybody eats and stays relatively clean is really not too complicated. It's the additional worries and stress. So I don't know if this video helped, but I really feel so bad whenever I get messages that say something along the lines of, you're a super mom, I don't know how you do it all, because that is just not true. I do not do it all. I'm not a super mom. I'm a regular mom. I'm busy all day, but you are too. If you're caring for young children, you know, there's not really a time when you're sitting down watching TV. You just don't have time for that. But, you know, 9 o'clock at night, I might watch a show on Netflix. I'm just like you. I try to stay consistent with my blog and my business, working on a little bit each day, but I'm not doing anything crazy. Nothing about my life is just this super awesome thing where somehow I'm able to just spin all the plates at once. I'm just fixing up my farmhouse. I'm just always wearing makeup, literally only put on makeup on days I'm recording videos. And I look like a complete slob in my pajamas every other day. Making these gorgeous meals from scratch. They're from scratch, but they're easy, they're simple. I'm not following this 10-step recipe. I don't want you to feel inadequate looking at my life, because I try to share the real, but somehow I still don't enough that people do think that I'm doing all those things. So hopefully this cleared that up. You understand that I have help, that I'm not a perfectionist, and that I'm just a busy mama like you. All right, well, if you're brand new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I make 2 new videos normally every week on food from scratch, natural living in a handmade home. Right now, like I mentioned, I'm finishing up the manuscript for my book, and so all of my project ideas, they're going there. I'm working hard, I'm making up new ideas and photographing these projects, but right now what you're seeing on my channel is a lot of these kind of talking videos, because they're all I can muster up right now when I'm working on all these other projects. So it'll be back to my normal recipe content, the farmhouse restoration, when I can get past this hurdle of my book, and then cannot wait to share more with you. So if you want to know how I was able to bring my husband home from work, I have a few videos about that. I also have a blogging course, which I have not shared about on here in a while, but basically I walk potential bloggers through every step they need to create a blog from scratch, and then all of the steps I took to promote that blog and monetize it, and how our family makes a living. I have over 500 students and a private Facebook group where basically we are walking through this together and creating a blog. There is just so much potential on the internet. I'm always thinking of new ideas, new ways to create content, and for our family to continue to grow our income. And I am passionate about teaching others because there is just so much opportunity there. I have a coupon code for YouTube subscribers only that I will leave in the description below that gives the course for the intro price, which was what it cost back when I launched it last October. All right, thank you so much for stopping by the farmhouse.